We have one of our young men today that's going to come and talk to us a little bit before we receive the morning's tithes and offering. Would you welcome Trivelle, please?
Good morning. Good morning. Pretty much what I'm going to do for you guys this Sunday is I'm going to do a spill. Spill is something that we do on Fridays. It's pretty much when you take biblical principle and you're able to apply it to something relevant in your life. And then you take what you've learned from it or what you've grasped from it, and then you try and share it with everyone on Fridays. Usually when I do it on Fridays, it's not this full, but I'll try and compose my notes tonight. I'll try and keep it together. So what I felt that is important to speak of today is it being a youth service. I think that there's a misunderstanding of youth. I think that we've been misrepresented in a sense, because I'm sure that a lot of you have wondered, how is it that all these young people are coming up in the church, seem to be so grounded in the gospel, and then yet walking away from it or turning away from it or making decisions that isn't exactly what you would have liked them to make, And then I'm sure you as parents are like, man, how am I going to, get this through? And I think that there's a very simple biblical answer as to why there are some that appear to be grounded in the gospel but are not. And that's found in Titus 1:16. Could you put that up, please? Thank you. And Titus 1:16 says, they profess to know God, but in their works they deny Him, being abominable, disobedient, and disqualified for every good work. This to me means that even though you're going to come and put up a front on Sundays, your work has to be mirrored that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as well, and Saturdays too. You have to be completely grounded. You have to be. This goes for adults as well as young people. However, dealing with young people as a youth, I'm going to talk with the young people right now. Sometimes they're not representing themselves appropriately in school. Now, another thing that I think is important is you may say, okay, well, this is young people, and they have times to mess up and they have time to grow. But when I got water baptized, I got this book from Pastor Steph called Growing Spiritually by Kenneth Hagin. And that book really just talks about your spiritual maturity not being limited by your physical maturity, in a sense. I would like to, if you could, put up Hebrews 5:12-14. And I'll read it, and then I'll explain to you how it's relevant. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you. Again, the first principle of the oracle of God, and you have come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But solid food belongs to those who are of full age, that is, those who by reason of use of us have their sense to exercise, discern both of good and evil. To me, this means that this is more of a challenge in a sense. And it's really asking you if you're still a baby, Have you grown in your walk, or are you still a child? Are you still limited? And then if you were to take that into the physical sense, when you're a baby, you drink milk. But when you're a baby, you dream of one day, being able to sit at the big table and have some jerk chicken, bami and fried fish, some ackee salad, good food, cooked food, so I do it. Real food, the spirit and soul, and eat it up and get strong in Jesus. But, all jokes aside, this is really what is applicable to your spiritual walk. You have to be able to condition yourself to grow. And the way you do that is, you take your food. You take your Bible. And you start to eat. But pretty much you have to fill yourself with enough so that way you grow spiritually. You have to come to that realization. So my spill for this Sunday is really, a challenge to you to come outside of your baby stage. And if you are in an adult stage, as I'm sure all of you know, there's no real limit to how deep you can go with Jesus. So that means nobody could ever really outgrow you. So I can still catch all of you.